Do you want to know what it is?
Information.
Remember,
Information.
all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
I am not a number. I am a free man.
Thanks for taking the time to join me on my channel, Nice View on Things. How you doing? How you keeping? Hope everybody's safe and sound where you are. I must apologise, time is not on my side, and unfortunately there are more important things to making videos. You must appreciate, you know, some things are more important, and this isn't one of my priorities, so please forgive me. Yeah, anyway, back on with the video. So let me show you some pictures. Some of these pictures we've seen before. Very, very important pictures. They go a long way proving what I'm saying. Not only am I going to prove what I'm saying, well, I'm going to verify what I'm saying. How much more proof would you like? This also proves everything that I've been doing on my channel. It just shows how real this actually is. There's something in our skies. We need to pay attention. I've also come across sun simulator proof. Undeniable for me. Let me show you something absolutely crazy. Let me show you what I found. What I'm going to do is apply some colour to this picture and bring these lens flares out, because these are very, very important. We've got two red ones there. We've got one small blue one there, a bigger blue one here, and two green ones here. First thing we should notice, it's not pointing this direction towards our sun simulator. It's pointing this direction. And the reason for that is there's a lens just about there, and it's being projected off to one side. Technically, this is an impossibility. People are going to argue, but that is a fact. We're looking at our sun simulator, and don't forget our sun is still behind. No sun, no life. What our sun simulator does, it acts like a great big flashlight, like a flash on a camera, to take the shadows of the other planets away, so we don't actually get to see it. Well, yeah, at any rate, you'll get to see what I'm talking about a little bit further on through the video. We've got lens systems that are in place, and you can see them all dotted all over the place. We've got this yellow bar here, and we've got this blue bar here. We'll be talking about this a little bit later. If we look down here, we can see our real sun being projected onto the water. The golden colour, that is the colour of our sun. The white LED torch is our sun simulator. And look how murky that looks in the background. I know we've got a filter on it, but it brings it out, and yeah, disgusting. First off, we need to look at this yellow bar. We're looking at this object here. Of course, it's got to be a spider. It doesn't look right. It shouldn't even be there. If we look over here, we've got two more bars. In fact, we've got three. We've got one blue one down here, possibly green. And then we've got this blue one here and this yellow one here. We can see the lens system, and this lens system is very, very important, and you'll get to see why a little bit later. We've got the hexagonal shapes of our sun simulator being projected into these lenses, and you can see them all over the place. Our green lens flares, wrong direction. They should be this direction, but they're pointing up through this lens just here. Nothing to see. And talking about nothing to see, a big flash of light, and our sun simulator comes through the sky. Look how red it is around the outside, and this effect that we're getting here, I would expect to see if there was a lens in front of our sun simulator, and I've shown this and proven it many different times. But of course, it's a fault on the camera. Yes, again, another great big flash of light just here. And what's going on? Just here we can see this red object, and we've got this object down here, which we're going to see in the next clip. But yeah, that's normal. Of course it is. That object I was talking about is just here, and just here we're going to see a great big flash of light just there. And what is this? If this is a lens system, it's in the wrong place. Look how big our sun simulator is. And as it goes through, it gets smaller and smaller. And we got that red object just here with this object here. And look how red it is around the outside. As our sun simulator crosses our sky. Yeah, you missed that one, boys, didn't you? There seems to be a very common theme that there is a lot of red in our sky. And that might be because we've got a red object. Lens system, that's in place. This one's in front of our moon. I would expect to see this sort of prism effect if we went through a lens and it came out the other side. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. We can see the lens. Normally we get two lines, one on the inside and the outside line. But this really does remind me of our sun, because as it comes through the sky, we get this petal effect, and this is quite a new effect. It's only been happening for the last 18 months. Then it's transferred to our moon, and we can see it here. Of course, there is nothing wrong. Look at that flashing as well. New Mars station, yet again, the red around the outside, and we've got our white sun simulator. Nice lens flare just here. Tavistock Dock West, and we can see the big kaleidoscope, big flash of light. Expect to see if it goes through a lens system, and that couldn't possibly be a planet, could it now? Of course, there's nothing in our skies. Yet again, red round the back of that with a little bit of blue, and we've got our sun simulator just here. That is what the black dot is. We've seen it spin, and I've proved it many times over. We're going to look at this. This is our sun simulator, black dot in the centre. As it moves through the sky, they're going to turn it up almost to bursting points. Well, that's what it looks like. And you've got these two red objects just here. Yeah. And they turn it up a little bit more. We get this red around the outside, and a little bit more, and a little bit more. There looks like there's an object there, and a big explosion of red light. And yeah, is that possibly a planet, or is that a lens system? And yet again, the lens system behind our sun simulator. We've got this red object here, this red object here, and this blue object here. We've just been looking at photos and watching videos of objects in our sky, things that shouldn't be there, things that should not be on camera, that's for sure. Just a small selection of a large selection of videos and pictures. Many people are still going to try and tell us that these are camera abnormalities. I don't know how, the proof is there. But if you look, and we're talking about proof, there are many, many pictures now being uploaded by many, many people all over the world, which validates what I'm showing. And there are some very, very strange things in our skies, that's for sure. We all need to pay attention. And if you think our tide's going out because it's our moon or our supermoon, no, it's not. This is very, very important. This should tell you something. At any rate, getting back to the video. So what I would like to do is verify these pictures, and like I said, we can just look round and we can get verification that way. But I would like to do it in a different manner, different perspective, a different place. And what I'm going to show you, you're going to say, well, some of you are going to say, well, what we're looking at is CGI. It's fake, isn't it, Nige? I'm going to say to you, you need to look at what I found, because what's the chances of me verifying ground-based photographs of the sky on this, if this is fake? Let me explain myself. We've got this picture here, and this is a very crucial picture, and you'll get to see this very, very shortly. We're looking at this sun simulator just here. We're looking at this red object just here. We're looking at another red object, and we're looking at a blue object. Have we just seen this in a picture? I do believe we have. And there seems to be a lot going on. Let me fast forward a little bit and let me show you something. You can see there's a red object appearing just here. We've got a lens around that. We've got another red object here. We've got another red object down there, green, blue, and we've got these lines. Very, very interesting. So now if I superimpose this picture on top, look at what we get. We get these lines that all line up. Okay, this is orange here and this one's blue here. Makes no difference because we'll get to see that in a minute. If we're looking at perspective, ground-based photograph, lens system, sun simulator, space-based photograph, lens system, sun simulator. So yeah, they all seem to match up and marry up. Now, if I could find something else that would match, it would be really, really good. And we certainly can. At the beginning of the video we were looking at lens flares, 2 small red ones, 1 small blue one, 1 big blue one and 2 small green ones. We're looking at a small blue lens flare, we're looking at a big blue lens flare. Does that ring any bells? I think it might well do. Is this blue lens flare reflected or a reflection of whatever it is there? Let's have a look at the lens system and verify this. We're looking at Talkeetna South, Monday 17th of October 2016, FAA advisory webcams. Just one picture because it's 10,000 words and all that. This is the most outstanding picture really. We're looking at the lensing system. We can see it's a lensing system because we get those double lines and there seems to be many in view. We're looking at our sun simulator. Black dot, of course. Oh no, it's just a CMOS sensor overload. I forgot. Then explain what we're looking at here. Really, there's only 2 reasons that we're getting this, because that object is there in the sky, or possibly it's being projected through a very complex system of lenses and it's being projected back onto the lens and the camera is just good enough to pick that image up. How far away it is, not really too sure, but yeah, of course there's nothing in our skies because the government would have told us now, wouldn't they? What I want to do is verify this lens system, and I think that definitely verifies what we're looking at. Black objects, 2 white dots and 1 underneath. Hey, so yeah, it's there for us to see. Another coincidence, yet again verification. What I want to show you is something what I find quite amazing. We're looking at these 2 objects here, and these are sky discs, as you can see. Now that little object that was white is now turned blue, and we've got one there that's white. Like I say, these lenses don't move at all. I think the rest are projections of lenses that are somewhere in the vicinity. We're looking at this green lens flare there. Look what happens in the middle. Oh, just before we go on, orange, blue lines. That validates what we've looked at a little bit earlier. Blue lens flare and what's growing here. So is this, yeah, well, we can see there's a lens system just here. Absolutely crazy. And did you see that just turning there? And we're going to see a great big flash of light, and I think this is when the lens seems to turn and we get that kaleidoscope of light that we've seen many different times. All of a sudden everything goes red, sky's on fire, and we're going to get that big V shape of light in 1 second. And there you go, like we've seen that many times before. Focal point, and we're going to see this lens flare come off this windshield here. And also have a look at this, what happens to this here. Yep, there comes that lens flare and just disappears. There looks like there's an object just here. Is this object here? Possibly. Not rightly too sure. And watch what happens here as this seems to fold up. I don't know if you can notice, it looks like a lens turning itself over, and there's the point where it looks flat. We'll see the lens system down here. We've got the red around the sun simulator, and we get the great big flash of light like we do just here and we've seen before. And there you go. Looking at this yet again, you can see that these 2 lenses haven't actually moved. We've got this object here, and this outside one seems to spin, and look how it disappears as it goes through. Quite interesting. It seems to fade out, and then this gets left, and it seems to spin. We've got our blue lens flare there, and there you go, it all just fades away. We can have a look at a clip from Mesa Grande area, and the camera is facing west. Some of you might actually recognise this, we've used this in the past. We're looking at this object here. Some might actually say that this is a refraction of our sun, and what I'm going to say to you is this is spinning way too fast. Our sun spins very, very slowly compared to this object, and also this object is tricolour, 3 colours if you like: blue, hue at the top, brown tan colour at the bottom, rusty colour in the centre. This isn't a lens flare. A lens flare is a projection of a light source. A projected image is a projected image through a set of lens, and it comes back onto the lens system being projected, obviously, and we can see that effect because we've got the two lines just here, and they become more prevalent as the video continues. We've got this strange lens flare just here, blue lens flare just here, and the double red lens flare just here. Even more validation to what we're looking at. As this object continues its journey, we get to see white little dots flying about, but they only seem to be in one certain area. Now, is that being projected, and we're getting to see a glimpse of what's going on in our skies? You can clearly see that things are starting to change down here. You can see this lensing system coming to fruition, and that was easy for me to say. It looks like a Fresnel lens system. In fact, if you look at it very carefully, it runs like it's spinning, and it looks like, what I say, a river, but it's not. As this object continues its journey, you can see that just there we've got this object just rotating, and what we're going to get is a big flash of red light just off our sun simulator just there. As you can see, this now has changed colour totally, become a lighter blue, darker yellow, rusty sort of colour, tanny, and we got this object in here. It looks like a big divot, and we can see our objects flying about, and yeah, there you go. Down here we can see the ripple effect of the lensing system, and yeah, normal thing to see on camera, of course it is. So let's verify the last bit of footage by looking at this bit of footage. It does more than just verify the footage, it's showed me something else, and I think you're going to find this quite interesting, and I'll show that a little bit later on through the video. This is a very, very busy clip. I need to talk you through it. There is lots going on. Notice sun simulator, bonnet of car, windscreen, lens flares. This one actually reminds me of a map pin. Very mechanical looking. And what's going on here? As the sun simulator comes through the sky, we're going to see reflection of this mannequin's helmet, and it's very, very revealing and telling. At any rate, let's start the clip, have a look and see what occurs. Like I said, I'm going to verify exactly what we've been looking at, and maybe you can just about see it there. Oh, is that a coincidence? Lots of blue going on, there's lots of red going on, and there is a multitude of lens flares going on. Some very, very strange ones. If we've learned anything about light and lens flares, as the light source goes one direction, so will the lens flares in a straight direction. But something quite weird sort of like happens, and you're just about to see it open just like a door. That really shouldn't happen. That means that there's a lens system over here, and having a look at the reflection, there seems to be an object just there, a big blue one, but I might be wrong. It might be a lens flare in the helmet. At any rate, I wanted you to pay attention just down here. Like I say, there's lots going on. Now, there's a couple of holes there, and does this actually match up? We're looking at this. Would this be a coincidence that that's light blue, tanned, light blue, and tanned? Watch this object, what happens here. As it turns blue, and yet again we've got the cutout. Is this? This validates exactly what we're looking at. These three objects here. 1, 2, 3, exactly the same object. Look at the interesting reflection from the helmet. Are these lenses? Are these planets? Not rightly too sure. But yeah, definitely not right. Let's continue and watch the rest of it. And then suddenly it just fades away. Look at that. It all seems to change. The light changes. And then we get this big old flash come through. And we've seen that many times before. Did you notice, were you paying attention, it happened so quickly, just like a flash? And that's basically what happened. We had a great big flash of light at the end of the last clip. Inside there I noticed that there was something that shouldn't be there. We'll have a look at that in a second. Let me draw your attention to this picture. The first thing we can notice, it's dark. It possibly could be our moon, and it's got the petal effect. around the outside. It's hard to judge the sun and the moon nowadays because it always looks exactly the same when we take a picture, and we're getting this petal effect around the outside. If we take a close look, we're looking at the number 3 and 3 and here and here. We're looking at the maker's name imprinted on the bulb. What we're looking at is a sodium light, an electrical light. This tells me exactly what the sun simulator really is. It's a big electrical light in the sky, big LED lights. This just proves it 100%. We've seen this effect many different times across the world by many different people. The point I'm trying to make is this number 3 is very, very important. This maker's name is very, very important. If you look on the windscreen of your car, maybe on the glass somewhere, there's numbers, letters, inscribed as it be, even on the headlights on some cars. So what are the chances of us looking at this clip and finding anything remotely the same that would verify that what we're looking at here is real? Maybe this. I'm looking at letters, maybe a stock code, whatever it might be. What I can tell you is it's something that shouldn't be on video. That is for sure. We're looking at a T, maybe a P, maybe a H. We've got a chevron effect, and that's a normal thing to see in a lens flare. Of course it is. Some of you still saying that this footage is fake, and maybe that's off the light in the studio. I'm saying, well, I've shown you ground-based photographs of our sky, video of space, and they all seem to marry up. So there's your answer. How can it be fake if I'm verifying in 2 places what we're seeing? This also verifies to me that we've got a red object in our sky, a blue object in our sky, red and blue Kachina. It's got friends. Things are changing. You really do need to take notice. The weather is not right. It's just like living inside a film. Day after tomorrow. Geostorm. You know, we've been told exactly what's going to happen. Of course, there's nothing there. Our governments would have told us. For those people that really do want to know, time is very, very short, and it's running out very, very quickly. This effect is accelerating. Our seas are not right. Volcanoes, earthquakes. It's time to prepare. If you haven't prepared, you need to make plans, get things sorted. But I just fearmonger, and also I speak woo-woo. Photoshop every single picture that you've seen, and don't forget every camera in the world is faulty. Pay attention. We're in trouble. Much love, much peace, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.